Hey folks, welcome back to the weekly waffle.
Hello.
So, this is our second attempt at recording this one because Kirk, in his infinite wisdom, recorded the last one at 60 frames per minute, which
No, per
meant,
second.
oh yeah,
I
that's
did it
the
at
word.
60 frames per second. So
So it
basically
meant
what
that
we were
when
doing
we
is
were playing
we were in
back, we
slow-mo.
were moving
Yes.
like that. That was me doing an impression, I'm not actually. Anyway, what are we doing today? Because I said, I was very clear. I was like, I'm not doing that one again. I've done that one. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
So I made him not only do it again, I made him pick a whole new topic.
Oh no, same topic.
Oh, same topic.
Same topic. So what we are going to
Okay.
do today, or
Oh
for the
dear.
second time,
I'm
is
sorry. Oh, giant yawn. I'm really sorry. I'm still tired from the wedding. I've slept for 3 days.
I
And I'm
know.
still tired.
I know.
I know. It's
Okay. Are you ready?
yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do today
Mm-hmm.
is random and weird historical events that may or may not have happened.
Okay. So how many are there?
There are 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
5. Okay. And
Yes.
one of them is not true. Is that right?
Well, it could be 1 or more.
Oh, for goodness sake.
So you have to decide on a case by case.
Okay. All right. So
whether
true or not true?
Yes.
All right.
1 is definitely not true.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm ready. Apart from yet another giant yawn. So sorry. If I fall asleep mid podcast.
As you can tell, she is very, very excited to do this one. I think what's happened is you've expended all of your energy on the first one.
Yeah, exactly. There's none left for this
There's
one.
none left. Well, I think you need to, just.
Okay. Woo, sir. Woo.
That's it.
Right, there we go. I'm ready. Come on,
Okay.
I'm in the room.
Right. Okay. So the first one is the time that the US tried to nuke a hurricane.
That's true. That's totally true.
Do you reckon?
No.
So in the late 1950s, in the United States, at the height of the atomic optimism, someone suggested dropping nukes into hurricanes to disrupt their structure. This was a real discussion at the US Weather Bureau.
Yeah, I reckon that happened.
The nukes were never dropped.
Yeah.
But scientists
yeah, no, I totally believe that happened.
Generals kept their helmets on and the public remained blissfully unaware. In hindsight, the idea would have produced radioactive rain, massive casualties, and a weather disaster so big it might have ended up in history books as the day humanity nuked itself by mistake.
Well, I believe that that's true. I would say this, though. It wouldn't be in the history books as the day humanity nuked itself by mistakes.
Because there'd be no history books.
No, you don't accidentally nuke yourself, do you? It's a deliberate act. You have to press buttons.
Ooh, I've slipped an automatic.
I mean, you don't trip and set off a nuclear warhead, do you?
No.
There's generally sort of, key turning and code entering and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe, if James Bond is to be believed, which I think that's quite accurate to life, isn't it?
James Bond's a documentary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe that was a conversation that was definitely had.
Apparently, scientists had to gently explain that radioactive fallout plus wind equals irradiated cities.
They had a president that suggested people drink bleach. So, yes, I believe that was a real conversation. Okay, next.
Okay.
Next.
So you're going with that actually happened?
I believe that was true, yes.
Okay. I'm not going to confirm or deny any of these. Okay. I'm going to let the audience also decide.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay.
But you are a definite.
I'm a definite. Yeah, that happened.
That happened.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Next.
Operation Paul Bunyan. America versus a tree.
Okay.
So in 1976, in the Korean demilitarized zone.
That's true. I actually know that this is true. This, I definitely know that this is true. I know this.
Yes, you should. I thought I put that one in there because you should know this one because we've talked about this one.
We've talked about this one and we watched a documentary on it.
We did.
It was fascinating.
So for those that don't know,
yes,
2 US officers were killed trimming a tree. So in this demilitarized zone, you had
between North Korea and South Korea.
Yeah, and the US were in the one side in the barracks. In
the South Korea.
Yeah, and they had a watchtower, so they could watch over this bridge, which was the only crossing between the two sides.
Yes.
And there was a tree on the south side.
In the demilitarized zone.
Yes.
On the south side.
Yeah, that was blocking obscuring some of the view.
Yeah.
And they sent a couple of soldiers to go and trim this tree.
Chop it down, basically.
Yeah.
And they were shot.
They were. And it caused a massive, massive uproar.
Yeah.
So that, I think it took them down. It took them about an hour to cut it down, but it escalated by the north side coming over and killing the 2 people that tried to cut it down. It then escalated, and it got to the point where they'd sent tanks, helicopters. There were people with chainsaws, and there was aeroplanes. I think it was it B-52 bombers were flying over the top, ready to drop the thing.
Yeah. They were full on. We are definitely getting rid of that tree.
There was 800 men sent on to actually cut down this tree, and it took about 42 minutes to actually cut down the tree, with North Korea watching the entire thing.
Yeah.
So that's
absolutely true. Absolutely true.
It is true, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite shocking, really. That they almost came to full-blown war over a tree.
I think in a, I don't know, 100, 200 years, 300 years, when history is looked back on, there will be a surprising number of times that we have probably just missed out on being in a full-scale, war somewhere.
Yeah, over stupid things.
Over really stupid things.
Yeah. I mean, they almost went to war over a tree.
Yeah.
There was a war over emus.
Yeah. You got the bear pigs. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots.
Oh yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got one. I've got one that I believe is true.
Yeah.
One that I know is true. Next.
Okay. So, the Great Molasses Flood of 1919.
Okay, what's this?
Okay, so in January the 15th, 1919.
Yeah.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
What's it called?
Boston, Massachusetts.
So anybody who lives in Massachusetts, it's like, how did he say that?
Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
I don't think that's quite how it's pronounced.
How's it pronounced?
Massachusetts.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
How did that bloke pronounce it on Boston Legal? The judge.
Oh, I can't remember. It was funny though.
Yeah, I can't remember what it, but that was.
I can't remember, but that was funny. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Okay.
Yep.
So, a 50-foot tall storage tank of molasses exploded, sending a 25-foot wave of syrup through the streets at 35 miles per hour.
Okay, I have one question at this point.
Okay.
What is molasses? I have no idea what that is.
I thought it was like a drink, or should we just have a?
I actually don't know what it is.
Well, let's have a quick Google.
I thought it was a place.
It's a thick, dark brown juice obtained from raw sugar during the refining process.
Okay, all right, okay. So it's like a byproduct of sugar from a sugar refinery.
Yeah, so it's like a very thick syrup.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So a 35 miles per hour, 25-foot wave of thick, sugary syrup went down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. 21 people died.
What from the?
Okay. And
it's not funny
and
at
the
all.
city smelled like pancakes for decades.
You can't say that word.
What?
The unalive word.
Okay. I just did.
Well, you'll have to, I don't know, do something. Go on. So
Okay.
21 people unalived.
Yeah, 21 people became unalive. The city actually smelled like pancakes for decades.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's the bit that makes me suspicious.
150 people were injured, and the sticky mess remained for weeks. Streets had to be scraped clean, and the molasses even seeped into the harbour. The company was sued and fined, but the memory lingered. Bostoners could smell syrup in the hot weather for decades. Engineering lessons were learned and the hard way. Always test your tanks.
So, do I think that's true?
Yes.
I mean, well, firstly, how did these people become unalive? I mean,
it was a 35 mile an hour.
Yeah.
25-foot high.
Yeah.
Wall.
Yeah.
Of basically syrup.
Could you not just duck into a building?
It's going at 35 miles per hour.
Well, duck fast.
Duck fast. Okay.
All right, so it's like a tsunami of sugar, basically.
It's a tsunami of caramelized sugar. Okay.
Okay.
Apparently the tank wasn't tested and it was leaking for years, but the company actually painted the tank brown to hide it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The wave flattened buildings and tossed train cars. People and horses also got stuck in the sticky mess. The cleanup took months in the summer heat.
I would have bet
and
it
the smell apparently turned biblical.
Duh.
Locals swore that on hot days you could still smell the molasses, and the company blamed anarchists at first until a lawsuit actually proved that it was shoddy engineering.
Gosh.
Now, is that true or is that not true?
I don't know. I'd like to return to that one later on. I'd like to ponder.
Okay.
It's pondering on the left side of my brain. Right, next.
Pondering on the left side of your brain. Okay, what is what's making it?
So I just find
what's making you twitch?
Okay, what's making me think it's not true?
Okay,
is the fact that it smelled like pancakes for decades. I don't believe that that's the case. For example, if there's an actual
no, come on,
we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah,
right? If there's a tsunami,
yes,
that is essentially a giant sea wave.
Giant wave, yes,
from the sea, that goes whoosh through the beachy place.
Yeah, I got that when you said sea wave.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Now, it doesn't smell like sea fish for decades, does it?
That's completely different.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because it's still nasty stuff going through the streets. So
I hear what you're saying. However, it's a completely different substance.
I know that because one's from the sea and one's from sugar.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't smell like crab for decades, does it?
I don't know. I've never been to anywhere where there's been a
Well, it
tsunami.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay.
Okay. So I feel that might not be 100% true.
Okay.
However, conversely,
Yeah.
I do think it could be true because the whole shoddy engineering cover up, that sounds legitimate.
Okay.
So, is it possible that it can be true and not true at
No.
the same time?
No. They are either 100% true or 100% false.
Okay. Well, okay.
Or am I just that good at making up stories that you can't tell?
well, there's there's another thing to analyze there because if you're that good at making up stories, I don't know how I feel about that,
Okay.
if I'm honest.
Okay.
Because that was very quick to be making up stuff. So what you're saying to me is that potentially you can lie on the fly.
When I was preparing the first one, I
Mhm.
actually prepared several.
Okay, so these were rejects.
No, these were going to be for a one at a later date
Okay, all right, okay. Well, I'm gonna come back to that one because I haven't decided.
because the first one was animals.
Yes, but we'll come back to this because I'm not sure. Go on.
Okay. Next,
Mm,
the day London fought fog.
true.
Do you want to hear it or
Go on then.
let's hear your theory first of what I'm going to say.
London is well known for smog and fog.
Okay.
So
That's it?
yeah.
No.
Okay, go on then.
So, in 1952, in
Yes.
London, England, okay,
Well, where else is London?
there's a couple of Londons.
No, there's not. There's
Is there?
one. One London.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's a few, but there's
Yeah.
only one that matters.
Okay.
Go
In
on.
London, England,
Yes.
okay, a cold snap, industrial smoke, and coal fumes combined to create a thick, poisonous smog that killed over 10,000 people.
10,000 people in 19. No, definitely false.
Londoners couldn't see more than a few feet ahead for nearly a week.
Did it kill them at the time or was it later? Was it as a result of breathing in the smog?
Over 10,000 people died from the smog. Transportation ground to a halt, and the city was effectively paralyzed for days. The disaster eventually led to the Clean Air Act of 1956, proving that sometimes it takes a literal choking to get
But that
legislation
is
moving.
true. That is true. That is true.
Do you think that one's true?
I think that. No, you see, you're doing that face that makes me think, right, look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look into my eyes, not around the eyes, into the eyes.
Into the eyes,
Yeah.
right. Is it true?
Yeah.
No. Answer the next one. No. Is it true?
No.
It's true.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on. Do you know which one's true?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, it was about 20 minutes ago when I did them.
Yeah, I know, but that was a long time ago. I wouldn't remember 20 minutes ago.
So buses had conductors walking in front with lanterns because headlights were useless.
No, that's a bit suspicious because if the headlamps are useless,
Yeah.
isn't a guy in front with a lantern a bit useless as well? Isn't the bus going to run over the guy with the lantern?
No, because the bus driver can see the chap walking in front, and then the chap in front can actually see a little bit further. And if the chap stops, the bus driver's going to see the
Yeah,
chap
but
stop.
how will the bus know that the bloke stopped until it hits him?
Because
I think that's what happened. 10,000 bus conductors were unalived.
The bus driver can actually see the chap walking in front.
Well, I think that's suspicious.
Okay.
Go on.
Cows in the Smithfield market choked to death.
Smithfield Market.
Yeah.
Smithfield or Spitalfields?
Says I put Smithfield.
Never heard of Smithfield Market.
Okay.
Is that a real place? Are you making
Who
places up
knows?
now?
Well, I'm making up stories, so maybe I've made up places as well. Or maybe it's a real place that you've just never heard of. Who knows?
Yeah.
The worst thing is, though, theatre plays were cancelled because audiences couldn't see the stage.
That sounds suspicious.
Hospitals filled with patients
Yeah,
gasping
of
for
course it
air.
would, because the minute someone breaks a nail, they're off to hospital.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No. I don't know.
No?
I don't know. See, London is known for smog and
It
fog.
is.
Or it was. It's not now because of the Clean Air,
Yeah.
but it certainly was before the Clean Air Act.
Yeah.
What makes me suspicious is the number of unalives
Yeah.
and the whole bus conductor with a lantern. That's very suspicious.
Okay.
They just wouldn't run the buses.
Well, they might do.
You said transport ground to a halt.
It did.
Well, it's not a halt if the bus is moving behind a conductor. It's still moving, just very slowly.
At a very slow pace, I would have thought.
Yeah, but it's still moving.
Okay.
That's not grinding to halt means stop. I feel
Yeah.
that I don't know. We'll come back to that one. Next one.
Okay. So the next one's the last one.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have to go back and revisit the ones that you are unsure
Go on
of.
then.
Okay. So the last one is Operation Snowbound. The US Army battles against winter.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 1949 in Nebraska, USA.
Nebraska?
Yes.
Isn't that a hot place? Oh no, that's Nevada.
Yeah, that's
a desert.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not Nebraska. Nebraska's a chilly place. Yeah, okay, I got it. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. Nebraska sounds very Alaska, so I'm gonna go with it's a cold place.
It's a cold place.
Okay.
After one of the worst blizzards in the US history trapped thousands of livestock and cut off towns, the US Army decided to fight the snow.
And the snow won.
With the military. They had convoys of tanks, flamethrowers, and surplus aircrafts were deployed to clear the plains. Okay? The plan was that tanks were meant to crush snowdrifts and open roads.
Yeah.
Flamethrowers were used to melt key paths.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they just created slush pits that refroze into ice rinks.
Yeah.
Okay. C-47 transport planes dropped hay bales to stranded cattle.
Okay.
Okay. However, someone had the great idea of putting small explosives into the hay bales. So when they hit the ground, they exploded because they thought that the impact would actually spread the hay over a larger area.
It did, and the hay acted like arrows, I'm guessing.
Wow, the charges, well, it just spread it evenly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The result, after 3 weeks of chaos, one general was actually quoted saying, "We've liberated exactly one barn." The final tally, dozens of burned fences, 2 melted jeeps, and a strong push for a better civil engineering system. Local papers nicknamed it the War on Winter.
I suspect that's true.
The tank units caused more road damage than the blizzard.
Yeah.
A nearby airfield was accidentally set alight with a flamethrower crew tried to clear the runway. But despite the disaster, it inspired the eventual formation of the Federal Disaster Assistance Administration.
I think that's probably true.
Okay.
Because didn't your brother drive a tank and mess up some curbs?
My brother, yes, he was a tank driver.
He was a tank driver, yeah.
And he was driving a tank down the public roads. I don't know why he was doing that. But he actually got pulled over by the police because he'd been, instead of actually driving on the road, he'd been driving just a little bit to the left, and he'd crushed about 2 miles worth of curb.
Curbstones.
Yeah. And he oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Carried on.
Well, yeah, because they can't do anything because
No.
he's military, so he's not under
No, I know,
under
but
the normal laws.
it's not like he felt it, because under a tank, under
no.
the tank tracks, you don't
No.
feel anything underneath. They're designed to crush and just keep going.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's done quite a fair few silly things like that, to be fair.
Well, he didn't do it on purpose.
Well, no.
He was just driving his tank, minding his business.
Yeah, just driving the tank, you know. No,
But top tip, maybe let's not drive our tanks down our roads, because we don't have the widest of roads.
No.
To be fair.
Nobody pull out in front of you, though.
Well, you're not going to get cut up on a roundabout, are
No,
you?
or nobody's going to actually brake check you.
Can you imagine being brake checked by in front? Yeah, no.
I'd like to meet the person that would be crazy enough to actually try and brake check a tank.
No. It's not me, that's for sure. I don't brake check anyone. I
No.
never brake check.
No. So you're going for true?
I'm going for that's true. Yeah.
Okay. So that is all of the ones that I have prepared.
So that's true.
So let's recap.
Okay.
Okay. So the US tried to nuke a hurricane.
True.
True?
Yeah.
Okay. American versus the tree.
That's true.
Yep. Okay. The Molasses Flood of 1919.
True.
True?
No, I think that's false.
I'll make your mind
Well,
up.
I think it's true.
Well, then why didn't you say it's true?
It's true. It's true.
Final answer.
True.
Final answer.
True.
No, that's no.
My final answer is that one is true.
Okay, so we've got 3 trues.
Yeah.
Okay. The London fog.
That's false.
Okay. You think that one's false?
That's false.
And your reasoning for that one being false?
Because I think the next one's true.
Okay.
It's a process of elimination. I've worked out the ones I think is true.
Yeah.
Therefore, this must be false.
Okay. What about, though, if you've got one of the other ones wrong?
Then I've got 2 wrong, haven't I? Well, potentially 3. But I'm not going to be swayed by this. I am just going to go with what my gut says, and my gut says that is false.
Okay.
So there.
Okay. And then you're going for the US
Battle Against Winter.
Battle
True.
Against Winter is true.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going to tell me?
I can tell you if you want, or would you like to have a poll for the audience to guess, or would you rather me just tell you and put you out your misery?
Well, you do realise nobody's watching our podcast anymore.
Okay.
No, there's a few. There's a few that watch it.
Okay.
So
All right.
I think what we will do is we will
Yep.
leave it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're going to leave it?
We're going to leave it.
Yeah.
And then you can tell me as soon as we stop recording.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, no?
No.
What do you mean? No, I'll just Google them. Which is what everyone will do anyway, to be fair. So
Okay.
maybe you should just tell me.
I'll tell you what I will do.
Go on then.
I'm not going to tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What I will do is I will whisper in your ear which one I made up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, no. I will show you.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. They are all true.
Not winging it at all. We're just.
Oh no,
we're
no,
totally prepared.
we're professionals.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all true apart from one.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Which one is not true?
This is the one that I made up.
Oh shit. Wow. Well. Okay. Well, that's not my fault. I mean, in my experience, that's possibly very true because of,
But don't say anything else.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Now that you know which one is the false one, what do you think to my ability to create a...
I'm actually most concerned.
Most concerned?
Most concerned.
And why is that?
I feel your ability to bend the truth somewhat convincingly.
That's not bending the truth. That never happened at all.
That's an outright lie.
That is...
Okay, I was just trying to be nice, but basically,
that is a
you're an
blatant...
excellent liar.
It's not... Look,
this is something I did not know about you.
It's a... I was writing a story.
No, what you've done is you've taken nothing, fabricated something from it.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Meh.
Right, is that truth?
I'm sure it's...
Is it truth?
No.
Then it's a lie.
No, it's a fabrication.
No, see?
No.
If something is not truth, it's a lie.
Are you saying that all movies are lies?
Of course they are.
Okay.
Apart from the ones that are based on a true story.
Okay. But some of those are expanded upon or elaborated in some way that isn't true.
Yeah, so they lie.
Okay.
Braveheart is a lie.
Oh, yeah, that is massively.
It's a blatant, out and out, complete and utter fabrication.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no way Mel Gibson was there at that time.
I think you'll find that there was slightly more errors than just that.
Yeah, there was loads.
Like, he would never have been held in the tower.
No.
Why is that?
Because that was for the Crown Jewels.
No. We've actually been to the Tower of London.
We have.
And we had the tour, and it was fascinating.
It was.
This one obviously didn't listen to a blooming word.
I was trying to work out how I could actually get the jewels out.
You can't.
No, it's quite...
The door alone is like that thick.
I know, yeah, it's massive.
It's
massively thick.
It's literally that thick. And
you can't just walk past it. There's a little like a moving floor. You stand on the moving floor and it moves you past the jewels.
Yeah, you can't stand and look at it and go, right, I'm casing the joint now.
They
you can't
move
film
you
it, you can't photograph, and if you photograph it, you're proper tutted, you're like told to delete it.
Yeah.
So you can't case the joint or nothing. It's literally...
But yeah,
and I'm not surprised. They're worth a few bob.
They are worth a couple of quid, yes.
I can't remember which one was in there when we went, but the one gem was the size of my fist.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
Was that the diamond? I can't remember, but
there was quite a few different crowns.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, but the doors to that place
Haven't they redone the crowns though? For King Charles? Because when we went, it was Queen Elizabeth. II. So
I honestly don't know.
I'm sure they redo them and they're redone and I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not really
I don't know.
But
who knows?
Oh, well, tell you what. When William is crowned, we'll pay more attention.
We'll have a look at what the crown looks like now.
Yeah. Or we'll Google it later.
Or we could just Google it. Yeah.
That's probably I feel that's probably the safest bet.
Is it though?
But anyway, I feel we're digressing from the fact that you are an accomplished liar.
Yeah.
This why you don't wear pants, because they'd be on fire.
Yes.
See what I did there?
That's the reason.
Well, good job I got a fire extinguisher.
Yes.
And on that note... on that
bombshell,
I think what I'll do is I'll put a list, I'll pin a comment of the ones that we went through.
Let
us know in the comments which one you think is the truth and which one you think is not true.
We'll leave out the America versus a tree because you have categorically stated
because that is absolutely true.
Yes, yes.
So I'll leave that one out.
Leave that one out. Put the others up, and then we'll have a poll, and we'll see which one people think is true.
We won't have a poll.
No,
we won't have a poll. We'll just put it. Answer in the comments which one you think is true.
No, which one is false?
Which one is false?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got
which one did Kirk tell lies about?
Yeah. So hurricane, flood.
No. I'll write them down.
Or
I'll write
winter.
them down.
Okay.
Like typey.
Tappy. That's not writing.
Typey.
You said write them down. That was a lie.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't. Ouch! That really hurt.
Yeah, my washboard abs. What?
Washboard abs.
Yeah.
That are reminiscent of the molasses flood.
Look, I love my abs so much, I covered them in a layer of fat. I used to have a massive six-pack when I was younger.
I know you did. And then, I met you.
No, I just got an IT job and sat around all day doing nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I love you anyway.
Yeah. It's because I'm awesome.
Wow.
No, I am.
So I will put that in, I'll do that in the comments.
Yep.
If you have enjoyed this podcast, video, whatever we're calling it now.
Yeah. I don't know what's
let us know.
Yeah. And would you like more of random things like this? Or is this something else that you would like us to do? Or would you like me just to make some random stuff up again? Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
More than happy to make stuff up.
Yeah, I think we're a bit kind of, I don't know. Anyway.
I've got loads of things that I can do for podcasts. That's not a problem. All I was just trying to.
So what you're saying is that we're going to continue the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would just trying to gauge what our viewers would like. If there's something else, whether we've done something that they like that they would like us to do again, or if there's something that we haven't done yet they would like us to see us do.
Okay.
Like juggling or.
Everyone's going to answer juggling.
Yeah, I would like to see you juggle. No.
With one hand tied behind your back.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm not being funny. I would like to see you juggle with one hand tied behind your back.
I would like to see me juggle. I can't juggle with two hands.
I know. I can't juggle. Anyway, on that note, if you have enjoyed this, please do feel free to hit that like button.
Yeah.
And whilst you're down there,
why you give the subscribe little tickle as well.
And if you already have, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I've already done it.
No, I've got to do it.
No, I did it.
No, I need to. Well, if you're going to do it, you have to do it seductively.
I'm not doing seductively.
Come on.
I am not.
Do it.
All right. I'm doing my impression of you.
Thank you very much. What was that?
You do wink as well.
Not like. I don't go. Thank you very much. I don't know where you get that from. We are going to continue this. Bye for now.